Hello everyone, this is Amir Mustafa, yet with another video today. Today we'll be learning JWT token. So what is JWT token and why it is used? And this is one of the most famous used in all programming language. I've worked with Laravel, Node.js, Nest.js, and other programming language. So this is widely used authentication mechanism, basically for the security. So quickly before starting, what you'll learn from today's video, what is JWT token in a very simple and easy way. We'll also be implementing it in the Nest.js. Nest.js is a Node.js, another framework like Express. We'll be seeing in code and we'll be checking in real-time Postman. This will not be a complex video, so let's learn together. So what is JWT token? Its full form is JSON Web Token and it's widely used for tokenization way. So let's go to the official website. So this is the official website of JWT token and how JWT token looks like. Okay. So JWT token is divided into three parts. If you're using any programming language, you will see this. The first part is called a header. Header basically contains all the information related to the algorithm it's used. For example, this guy, JWT type. The second piece of information is payload. So payload is basically the data which is sent through your Postman apps. If we go to the Postman body, suppose we are anything, so it comes over here. And the third one is the signature. So signature is basically, so it is can be done in multiple ways. Some store cert file and pass it over here, while you can also store with a string, but that is to be very stored securely because it identifies the token. Need not going into complex, let us learn what it is. So JWT token, as seen over here, is basically comprised of a header, payload and signature. Okay. So what is a JWT token? JWT token is used in application for securing routes against attacks. If suppose we are logged, there are two users. First user is logged in project A and second user is also logged in project A. First user is a regular user and second user is admin. And now suppose this guy, first user, somehow from the network pulled out the security information like a role and modifies your payload at the sync. Okay? That guy is, suppose John Doe is an admin and he is an admin, he logs in. Now this second John Doe, you can say as a fake John Doe, comes in. He's a regular guy, regular user, not an admin. Now he sees from the network tab, okay, this is the role, and he suppose tries to modify the file, suppose permission to admin or super admin, and then try to access the app. That time this token will be very helpful. It will reject it because we have header, payload, but other than that we have a secret signature which helps in protection from this attacks. So why is it widely used? Achha. So if you are working in an organization, you have mostly seen that they use Microsoft Authentication. When you click it, sends to your company page, then login. I think that is one of the most secure way. That is a cloud approach. But this way, JWT token is used when you are storing your password in your database. Let me show you what I'm trying to say. So this is my database. It's a Postgres, and whatever I'm storing here, this password is stored in hash. stored in hash, stored in hashed. Okay, so that is something different, that instead of storing in a regular password, simply encoded by using hashed. But the idea is password is in the database, right? So once your password in the database, then JWT token is widely used. Okay. Okay. I want to tell you something before starting it. JWT token, I'll show you through the, so let me try to explain in a user way or in a program wise. So it is important to understand that when you sign in, when we sign in, the hashed part, I mean, we do right, if you go to our login route, don't go much into the code, I will explain it. But what I'm trying to say is wherever your sign in is written, right? Wherever your sign in is written or sign up is written, you have hashed it and stored in the database. So instead of storing the plain password, we have simply hashed the password. We used a package called bcrypt. It's a very secure way of storing it, and hence it saves us from the multiple attacks, hacking attacks. Okay, so this is one thing. And when we do the sign in, I mean the regular login, that time, so don't go into the code, we'll come into the code again. What I'm trying to say is that time when we reach this area, it means successful login is already identified. This guy is already a user of your application. This is already been done, like he is a valid user, and we have already done with the, whether you compare user and password or the hash. So this is a way just to compare the hash and just say okay, this is the right user or not. But what is JWT for? Like I was saying, a user is for which is with more permission, admin permissions, super admin permissions. But a regular user enters, he is here. Okay, now he tries to modify the request and try to, that time JWT token helps. Another thing to notice that in JWT token we can set an expiry time, and we can use it. So before going into the code, let me show you in Postman what we are trying to do. This is our Postman. So this is our Nest application. Sorry. So here we have couple of routes. Feature, you can say a task feature. So if we click on get task, I've actually, let me do one thing. It's less than an hour. I've hit the token, so it is taking. We'll come over here. What I'm trying to do is just reducing my token expiry time so that you can understand. If we go to the auth, we go to the auth module. This is expiry time. Instead of 3600, let me do now 60 seconds. Okay. Let me restart the terminal. Postman. Let me try the other one. Get a task. This one I've not tried. This one is working because you can think like I have 5 minutes back I've used this realization. I'll tell you how to make it work also. So what we are trying to achieve over here, so think from your code perspective, right? In your project there will be multiple features, like task is dealing with everything about task, creating, deleting, writing, filtering, all the thing task. You can have your other thing based on the project. Now what we are trying to do is we will generate a token. So currently all your task before guarding it looks like this. You hit the request and you get the response if it is rightly, everything is in place, right? But what instead of that, what we are trying to do, get a task. Instead of unauthorized, so what we will do now is, after implementing the JWT token, what will happen is whenever you hit this request, you will get unauthorized request. So you handle any request from here, you will get the same thing. For example, this one. All right. Climbing mountain. Okay. Sprinting in mountain. If we hide send, we'll get unauthorized. This happens after implementing the JWT token. So for accessing any route, what we have to do is there will be one sign in. Okay, sign in route. So basically, if you are a, I'll say, all right, I can give any name. Suppose this guy, Ariel at the rate 123, and hit this, we will get a token. So previously what we used to get is either a message login successful, or it will take me back to the another one of the home page of the application. But this time it gave me a token. Now for using any of this application, for example, get a task, we will have to go to the authorization, bearer token. So what instead, without this token, you will not be able to access it. Are we in the right one? No. We were using this one, climbing mountain, bearer token, copy paste this guy. Sorry, this mic. And this time we see that we have this over here. If we go to the over here, hit this, and we see climbing mountain is coming now. So all of your route is protected. Without a token, it will not pass. So this is the idea. So let us see what can be done. So this method is widely used. If you're using any other programming language, Laravel, we have used it. So there is one famous SDK package, which is Passport.js, and it provides lots of strategies. For example, using Facebook authentication, Twitter authentication, and other ways, Auth to authentication. The JWT token is one of the famous when we store database data, your password in this database. Yeah. All right. I think we are good to start the code part, understanding the code part. So simply, if you want to, before going, they want to revise, understand, a token is just a piece of information divided into three parts: header, payload, and signature. And one more thing I want to show you. Suppose we have pasted this token over here, whatever we got over here. If we copy this token and go to this official site, you paste this information and hit the, you see that we can get the information, Ariel, I mean whatever we have data over here. So it is important to note that we should not paste any sensitive information in this place. Okay, everything should be placed. We are in this part of the code where everything is logged in successful. We are just trying to claim that it is mine route. I'm the admin and I can use it. Okay, so this person can log in because it's having access, or this person cannot log in. So you can store any non-sensitive information, name, but not the sensitive one. All right, so you can paste here your token and get the information. The three pieces you can see: the header, payload, and the signature. So JWT is divided into three parts: header, payload, signature. What is JWT token? It mainly, once you are successfully logged in, it helps you from protection against guarding your routes. Any person who can claim, okay, this is my, so they have to provide the token and they are able to log in to any route. This is the look. We have seen this. So where it is used, this is used widely where we store password in DB. So let us, the core of this project is implementing in Nest.js. Let's see. For this, we'll install 5 package: Nest JWT, Nest Passport, Nest.js Passport. This is for integrating with Nest. These two. Passport is the core passport site. Passport JWT and type passport JWT. You just go ahead and get this, and you'll get the okay registering a JWT token auth module. I'll explain it how and when to use. So now this is a typical Nest.js application, how it looks like. Now you go into source. Okay, so there will be, once your application grows, there will be lots of features. Like I'm over here seeing everything related to task. You can have anything like payment gateway or any other thing. So this is one feature. So every feature is divided into component. It will have a controller, will have a module, it is a service. It's a typical Nest.js way. Okay, and there we will create one, there will be one authentication folder. Name can be anything. The idea is that this will have sign in thing. So whenever we go to any Nest.js application, the first thing is we go to the module. Okay, so in the module, what we have written here, that we have to understand what we are implementing it. The first step is we have to import passport module. We have installed over here JWT module. JWT will come to strategy in a minute. The idea is we are registering passport module and JWT module over here in the import. Okay, you need to, I think, just reuse this code. This will be the second one is JWT register. These two things we imported on the package. These two things we are registering over here. So you remember that in the code where we have seen third part is signature. So that signature is comes from here. Now this is, I've written anything random text. Now you can store it as a text. You can have a key and then pull data from that key. Okay. Now the second piece is this one. This is a time of your token to expire. It was earlier 1 hour, I changed to 60 seconds. Just that's it. That is the first step. What is the second step? The second step is this one. Okay, the JWT strategy. This is actually, you can say, the heart of the JWT token, where it's writing logic. You need not go into depth. What you need to understand is it is basically a class written custom only, but the idea is this class should extend passport strategy, which comes from this guy, Nest.js passport and strategy. Now in Node.js, in Nest.js, we use dependency injection way. So if you are not new, if you are suppose watching the Nest.js app first time, so think like this is a structure that we have to, it's a class-based approach, and this is a common injection pattern. You work in any Nest.js application, it is there. Okay, let me show you the task one. Task service, this pattern is everywhere in the service. Okay, this dependency injection way. So how code flows is it comes to the module, from module goes to the controller, from controller goes to the service. That is the basic code flow. Okay, so what we have done, we have created one new file, JWTStrategy, inside auth, and over here it's just a class extended with passport strategy. Now inside constructor we do the dependency injection. We have written here user repository. Okay, so this is basically you can think this is a way actually to access your database. We are using pgadmin. We have a docker file which is running. Okay, and this don't go much into it. You can be using pgadmin, you can be using anything, any database. Okay, what the idea is, if you are implementing JWT token, it means login mechanism is already working in there. So what you have to do is, whatever the way your user is created, we are basically trying to fetch the user. Okay, we write it over here super, and the same secret key in the module we have written auth module, we have mentioned here this secret key, the same key, whether it comes from certificate or your string, complex string, this should be stored in that JWTStrategy. The idea is they have this code you need to reuse. So JWT from request extract JWT, which comes from this package, from auth header bearer token. So what this piece of code is doing, basically from your passport auth bearer token, it pulls out this token. Okay, so that's it for this strategy. Now validate. What we are trying to do in the validate is this: when we write this code, after successful generation of your key, what will happen? It just checks whether the user exists or not. If it will not exist, it will throw an error. This guy is not there. For example, if you go to the database, 3 persons are there. Now suppose 4th person comes as a say Raj, so he is not there, then error will come here. Okay, so that's the JWT strategy. Back to the AW auth module. So even in the auth module, what we did, we imported these two files, we registered it. Once we registered it, we went to JWTStrategy. You basically need to copy paste this code, and this thing is important. This is the dependency injection, and here this line, this piece of code is important. Since we are using extending it from the SDK, we are calling it using super and passing this to parameter, which is the main thing about JWT. Okay, now we are passing. This was already there when you create any module. This name will always be there. The JWT strategy is the new one which we have provided here, which we have just written over here, and exports JWT strategy and passport module. So this basically means, so when you come to module of any application, what will happen? It will have provider, imports, provider, controller, export. So import is everything whatever it is using. So these two we have used now. This was already there. JWT strategy we have used now, and what we have done, exported the strategy and passport module. The idea is whatever you export over here is available for the other modules, means tasks, auth, everything. Okay, hope it is not going too complex. Now here comes the fun part. Okay, so this is the code which you have to write anyways for using it in the database. The main thing is, see, what we do is we go to the controller. Okay, so in the controller we have seen that on clicking this sign in, this token is created. So there should be one controller route. This is sign in. Everything is as it is, nothing, don't think something different is written over here. Whatever is written is the flow. Actually, when we hit controller, it comes to module, it goes to this controller sign in, and from here it basically moves the code to go to the auth credentials contain these two data, username and password, whatever we are passing, and it goes from here to the service. Okay, so in the sign in, from here we are getting username and password. So if you see from over here, auth DTO, this basically contains username and password. So in the service, so the ideal thing is we are changing in the service where actual logic is written. Okay, logic related to what? Your sign in. This was already written beforehand. So inside sign in, once you compare, it is okay. If suppose you're not using the hashing where you're using the password, if username barabar equal to username and password equal to password, you are inside, you know that this is the right guy for login. That time, what previously it was written here, just the message was written stating successful login, which is true. Successful login is true, but now we are doing the JWT token part. What do we do? Const payload equal to username. This we can write anything. Okay, anyways, you are already before writing this also, you have already checked it here. Username and password is coming, you have checked. Okay, like we do in any database, we check if this user guy there. If it is there, then inside, then we move it to the dashboard page. So what we are doing, additional check we are doing over here, create a payload and use that username JWT payload to create a token. Now one thing I want to, don't go much into this. This is actually for the type safety, just to ensure that it should have only username. If person comes try to enter name, any other name, it should be of this skeleton only. Username should only be passed. Not making it much complex, trying to explain simply. Once you are logged in successfully, means authenticated, over here in the payload we just take the username. It's up to you, you can take username, you can take anything you want to. What we are trying to do from here, yeah, we are trying to create this part. Okay, username this dot JWT service. So JWT service is added as a dependency injection. How do we know that it is available for this injection? So once you have auth module, once you write this piece of code, okay, JWT register, after that you'll have this availability. Once it is available here, so in short, what is dependency injection? Whatever you write in constructor in this format is a dependency injection. It is available in your code over here. So it is available this dot JWT service dot sign, it has a method, you pass this payload, okay, which is just a username object, and you return this token, and this token is whatever we are getting over here. Understood? And the final and the last piece of this code, I will quickly revise it also, but final and the last piece of the code is, okay, you created the token, now I have, suppose, watch movie, watch sport, do the payment. I mean, what I'm trying to say is, other than auth, you must have 10 other authentication features. Like task is the one which we are seeing, create task, delete task. Then how do we add this token over here? Means how will secure the token? Now we have registered the token, we have created the token. Now how to secure in other routes? So it's simple and easiest way to do. So we go to the task. So this is a structure you will find in every component in Nest.js. There will be a module. There will be, from module goes to the controller, from controller goes to the service. Okay. So for that, what we do, we go to the firstly module. Inside module, this three piece of code will always be there. Okay, we just import the auth module. We go to auth module. There you see that we have auth module. So we import it over here. That's it. So now auth module is accessible over here. Now if we go to the controller is a place where you'll find all the routes, ID, post, status, whatever your route structure names. So what you have to do is just a one line fix. You over here you import auth guard from passport. So over here just this line is written. Okay, what it is, it's use guard, it's a decorator. So Nest.js works in a principle of decorator, just like this guy. Angular also uses it. So use guard, so inside that auth guard is written. That's it, nothing else you need to do. But the idea is where this auth guard is coming from, the passport itself, right? Passport.js. What is the idea? Every logic, whatever you are trying to achieve, is written in your authentication only. So let me quickly summarize this code. So inside source, you will have all your features, right? Before that, you have to go to your authentication. It can be named sign in, sign up, anything. But that component should be dealing with your login, logout, sign up, anything. So if you go to auth, inside auth, you will go, first step is go to the module. Inside module, we import this two guy, passport module, JWT module, and we register it over here. That's it. You define your time over here and one secret key. This secret key can be a complex text, you can do anything, or from a cert file you can pull it. That's all about step one. Second step is the core logic, where JWT logic is written, JWT strategy. So this is just a class, but it should extend this passport strategy. Since it is exporting it, you need to have super. So what you are doing here is there is a constructor where we write a dependency injection. Don't think about this one. This is just anything, if whatever logic is written for your project for fetching the database, that is written over here. For this, user repository is there. Okay, so what the idea is, inside super, this passes to this passport strategy. We pass the secret key, which is same as the define auth module, and JWT from request. This line we need to write. So basically what it does is, from the Postman, it fetches your code from the authorization section and handle it. So passport JS handle it, everything. We are just sending data to the passport strategy. Okay, so we write additional function async validate. If there is a failure, I mean if you're trying to search for a user but it doesn't exist, it will throw error. Not mandatory, just an additional check. After that, yeah, so this is the core logic of JWT token. Now what we are doing, we'll go to the second step, is going to the login, wherever you have written the logic of your login. So for this app, we go to auth controller. This is the sign in. Okay, here login is written. We go to this service. This is auth controller. We have to go to the auth service. In the auth service, wherever your successful login code is written, okay, you have done your job. Okay, user match, password match, this is the right user. After that, your code of your JWT token comes. Okay, you based on your anything which is not sensitive. We do not store any sensitive data here. So suppose I take the username, and it should be of this format. So once we register it, we have access of this JWT service from the Nest.js. We can pass it as a dependency injection. What is a dependency injection? Anything we write inside the constructor like this, private JWT service. Now since it is added over here, now over here this dot we can access like a class. We are inside a class, this dot JWT service dot sign. So this guy will give us the JWT token and we return it over here and it comes over here. So that was a step 2. Step 1 was registering and write the logic. Step 2 was writing the code over here. Step 3 and the final piece is that now everything is done. Logic is written, token is created. How can we guard the other routes? So we go to the component where we want to apply source. For example, arc is task. We go to its module. Over here, we just import this module. We have our auth module. We import it. And in the service of that file, sorry, not the service, controller of this file, we have all the routes. Okay, we have all the logics written. I mean, all the CRUD operation is written: get, delete, post, put. Just after the where we name the controller, we write one decorator over here, use guard, auth guard, which comes from passport, and our job is done. Alright guys, that's all for this video. So I'll attach this git link where I was writing so you can refer the code. I hope you learned something new. Thank you. Bye.